We made it. 12-hour flight in San Francisco finally.
What we found in sort of mid-2024 is we weren't feeling very confident about the long-term future of the company, right? And so we made this intentional pivot in about September 2024. It was pretty early on, but I mean, all the ChatGPT stuff was 2023, but it didn't really didn't really make a lot of noise in 24, and then obviously in 25 it became a lot more mainstream. But we made that pivot early, right? So we came to market with a pretty good functional agentic story in early 2025. Yeah. And what ended up happening was that we were just way earlier to the market than everyone else in our category, right? So that existential risk kind of somewhat went away in 2025 because we were able to nail that experience of delivering an agentic story for our security platform. If you kind of look at what's happening in the field right now with our competitors and other folks in the industry, is that they're all struggling to monetize their AI. Why? Because a lot of it's vaporware, a lot of it doesn't actually work, a lot of it doesn't hang together properly, it's not enterprise ready. And I think for me in 2026, it's actually like, is your AI actually worth paying for?
We're still early, so there's just I saw this chart that said the people that have used ChatGPT was like 13 dots out of 100, right? The people that have used like Cloud Code were like 1%. Like it's such a small segment of people, and even if they are aware of that, being able to adopt that and actually implement that and use that, especially in enterprise, is a whole different story.
Yeah.
So you do have people that say, well, what do you mean? Like, I can build that. And it's true to some extent. Now you are able to build that stuff with Cloud Code, overskill or whatnot. I think the biggest question still though is, oh, that's great. You can build it. You built like 70% of what a Salesforce or HubSpot is. Now what, right? Like, now you're supposed to build our business. Are you going to spend 60% of the time building that CRM? And what happens if it breaks, right? Can other team members use it? Like, is it hosted? Like, what happens if it goes down? Like software as a service is more than the code that you make. It's also maintaining it and making features. If there's something wrong, you want to go chase down somebody and say, hey, it's broken, right? Not have you do it. Yeah. So I think when it always comes back to the maintenance and this like scaling part of it, is that core to your business or not? Yeah. And if it's not, then I think you should ask, is it truly worth building?
I think there's going to be two camps. Camp one is, my friends over at A16Z, who will continue to write big checks and will effectively be a validation point. And their behavior doesn't change. They've always kind of been that, right? The teams didn't necessarily need the money, but they love the brand that A16Z provides when they make an investment. I think those kinds of VCs will probably continue to behave pretty similarly. Yeah. Those tier 2 and tier 3 VCs cannot compete with that. And I don't think their model is going to work. I think they have too much capital to try and deploy. So I think that'll be very interesting to see how quickly they move to the earlier stage. Yeah, interesting. And then they'll compete with folks like us that are smaller, boutique, more specialized funds. And then we'll see if we can compete with them.
So the middle kind of gets carved out, right?
I think the middle, I would be very surprised if the middle is necessary anymore.
Mine's a perfect cylinder. Charlie, you have to eat half of this. Is it good? Why don't they make them tiny? They make like mini, they probably do mini burritos there. That's so good though. That's definitely the best one of the trip. What's your one like? Mine's like vinegary and real good, eh? Touch little burritos. pretty good. That one's the winner though.
Trying to sell to a really fragmented industry is still difficult, right? You would know this. And so the idea here is like, why not just build alongside your customer, and why not own your customer? You're effectively using M&A as a go-to-market strategy.
And was the move to doing more of this model rather than like moving away from VC, I guess for you personally or for your firm, was that partially driven just by the change in VC?
I would say like investing has become a little bit less about like picking and a little bit more about access. I mean, significantly more about access, right? It's about getting into the best businesses. You hear about people trying to get into like, a 3-layer SPV of Anthropic, and they're paying fees on fees on fees. That's not exactly the funnest part of investing anymore. If you go into investing because you love learning about new industries and learning about new sectors, whereas now the trade is actually like, how do I get into the best business again and again and again?
Are you scared of Anthropic at all? There's a lot of companies I'm talking to at the moment who are all kind of like just aware of Anthropic nipping at their heels in terms of just like the application layer swallowing everything.
Yeah, it's a good question. Am I scared? No. Do we like think carefully about the role that the labs play in the future and like our role in that? For sure. We really like have a thesis that the future is multi-agent, and I mean, we even see that in our own business now, right? Like we have 5 or 6 agents that from different vendors, like not just the labs, that including our own agent, including other like startup agents that we use, that kind of like do a lot of running the company and our processes and things already. And I think that continues. And so it's really this like, if you can build a really great agent and go deep in an area, I think you have an important, like there's a huge opportunity for you, and that's obviously where we're playing and what we're betting on.
My last company was 130 people. I just started a solo founded startup. Do you think this $1 billion solo founder thing is possible? Like,
no.
Or like,
but I think 10 people might found a $1 billion company.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of like too, right?
But I think it is possible. The hubris in it that we're seeing is that the world's so competitive. So I do believe in categories that are somewhat static, where you can have a step function and they're not brutally competitive like Replit and Lovable. I think 10 people with AI that requires limited customer support, limited enterprise, probably can do it.
Who knows what it's like in 18 months, so, right? I'm getting out soon, so we get in and out, we'll head out, as is tradition.
Did we do this whole thing for the pub?
Yeah, I think so. We're that much. Also in California, so you got to get in and out. But yeah, how's your San Francisco been? How's your SaaStr been?
It's pretty good.
I think I'm a little bit
wary of giving too many hot takes in this AI world where everything changes week to week. So just not, maybe the takeaway is not some sort of, like this type of content that's all about like 50 sound bites, right? Maybe there is no real soundbite for this. It's just we get some interesting people building some cool stuff.
Yeah,
maybe that's enough.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Like we're doing the same. I think as you said before, we've got the same Claude Code subscriptions. We're all like building stuff in a cool way. It's just amplified here. It's just like the billboards all have agentic on them. The buses are all about AI. It's all just like turned up to 11 in terms of everything. It's America. Everything's bigger. Yeah, exactly. AI is bigger here. But yeah, we're all doing the same stuff. Yeah. Cheers.